bet you've got good stories
Practical
to tell.
choice.
The way to Barren Light is clear. Get moving.
You're not errant vanguardsman. I will move only when the captain
When
says...
I've cleared out all the bristlebacks, which I have. Captain's orders.
So they're okay?
Banged up, but breathing. And waiting up ahead for you.
But I was supposed to have 3 escorts.
I'm off to Barren Light, buddies. Like Aloy said, Captain's orders. You can stay here.
Abandoned to the riffraff? I think not.
Guess you're coming with me then. See you there, Aloy.
Well, now that that's done, the embassy can finally get underway. If I can get through it, I'll be able to track down Sylens. Hades. Maybe even a Gaia backup. Guess I could head straight for Barren Light. Or poke around the Daunt some more first. And maybe take Petra up on that drink.
Oh, hi! Yeah, you!
Fill her up.
Yeah.
Hey, Mildef. Mildef. I took some of your stew last time I went into the wilds. Kept me going for a week. Felt like I could have put a strider in a sleeper hold.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Sounds like you're serving up some impressive provisions here.
Not again. You can have the discount too, but you'll have to come back later.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Olvin didn't send you?
No.
Oh, my apologies. It's just that his minions won't stop pestering me. Now I've even worn out my special grill. Since I'm in the midst of a crisis, perhaps you could skip to what it is you wanted?
Some of your food?
Of course.
Are Ulvin's people causing you problems?
Oh, yeah. They constantly demand my best, but the equipment I need to make my signature dishes isn't built for batch cooking. And don't get me started on the Ulvin discount they feel so entitled to.
And if you refuse?
I make meals, no trouble.
How did you end up in Chainscrape?
Heard about a new and upcoming town at the edge of the frontier. Where there's a town, there's a tavern. I was in need of work. So I got myself out here and started cooking. Some of these people had never tasted proper boars and berries stew before. Anyway, next thing I knew, people kept coming back. Guess they liked my food. More than ale.
Your last customer mentioned your cooking really kept him going out in the wild. Where I'm headed, I could use some of that.
I would be happy to oblige, especially since you have the decency to ask pleasantly. But my special groove griddle is no more. Without it, I can't cook any of my signature dishes. I hate to think what'll happen when I'm forced to refuse Olvin or his goons. Even if I already had the right ingredients, there's nothing I can do. Unless you can source me a temporary replacement?
What do you need?
For the ingredients. A few pieces of decent wild meat, and I'd say a big handful of bitter leaf stems. That'll do. As for the griddle, a corrugated metal panel might suffice until I can have a new one forged. You'd likely find one in a scrounger pile if you follow the river to the northeast. Don't worry, I'll clean it first. You'll have no issue finding boars and bitter leaf on your way. Assuming you're as much a hunter-gatherer as your clothing suggests.
Thanks, Mildef. I'll keep an eye out.
So that's what gratitude sounds like.
And don't let anyone push you around, okay?
If you say so.
Savior, over here.
Eyes up here, brother!
Savior, thank you for taking the time, and my condolences that you had to endure Ulvund's bloviating.
I've dealt with worse. It sounds like he's really trying to put you over the barrel.
The idea that the Carja purposely let bristlebacks into the Daunt, it's completely absurd. But the louder and longer he says it, the more support he'll get for his damned concession decree.
How did the Bristlebacks get into the Daunt?
No one knows for sure. The first report of them came from west of the quarry. But unless they have wings I don't know about, I don't see how they could have come over the mountains.
No other way in.
The only way I know about is Barren Light. Look, if you can get to the bottom of this, I can offer a considerable bounty in return. Help me shut Ulvund up.
You said the Bristlebacks were first spotted west of the quarry?
Yes, according to one terrified laborer, said the ground trembled before they came charging down the hillside. He took off and ran all the way here.
Good place to start looking, then.
If you learn the truth, maybe Ulvund will stop blaming the Carja for every problem under the sun, and maybe then he'll actually focus on rebuilding Barren Light instead.
Change your mind about that? Come for that beer after all, eh? Here, sit down. Get a pint in her hand. Wasn't expecting you to swing by.
Since when do I do what's expected?
Ha! There's that spark. Fire and spit.
Fire and spit.
That's a blast from the bellows. Won't fix the forge, but at least I can forget about my troubles for a while.
Like what?
Well, things aren't as bad since you got this place running again. But we still got Ulvund grating the gears about his concession decree. If you don't put that down, I'll come over there and show you how that game ends. Anyway, right now, I'm just worried about those refugees out from Sunfall. To come all this way enduring Forge knows what.
Shadow Carja refugees. What are they doing in the Daunt?
Looking for a new home, I gather. They're camped out by an old trailhead, southwest of here. And therein lies the problem. A Stormbird crashed up on the cliffs last week, and Talon Cleanbrokers had his eye on the salvage ever since. But the refugees have barred entrance. Mustn't interrupt their sun-scorched ritual. Something about finding a twilight path.
Huh. I never heard them talk about that before.
Yeah, well, these particular Shadow Karja are an odd bunch, but overall they're peaceful folk. Not that it matters to Tolland. He'll crack some heads to get to that salvage. Maybe you could swing by, convince him to set up camp somewhere else?
So the Bristlebacks in the Daunt. Where did they come from?
That's the thing. No one rightly knows. They just showed up one day, rampaging around the valley like they exploded out of a forge. Lost some good people. But bless the bellows, you cleared them out and got this place working again. That put a dent in Ulvin's plans. Now, if only there were some way to smash them all together and run them out of town.
But how could Bristlebacks and the Daunt help Ulvund?
2 words. Concession decree. Since no one knows where the Bristlebacks came from, Ulvund has taken to blaming the Karja for them. He's hoping to dig up enough old resentments to get a strike going until the concession's signed. This is just his latest attempt. He's been trying to rile up the workers since the day he rolled into town.
And people actually believe him?
Lots of folks suffered at the hands of the Mad King during the Red Raids. Give him half a reason, they'll blame the Karja for anything.
Damn Karja slavers.
What else can you tell me about the Shadow Karja refugees?
Well, they don't call themselves Shadow Karja for one. At least, not anymore. They're some other brand of sun-crazed. But whatever side of the sun they're on, they're peaceful through and through. Don't seem to want for nothing except a place to live, pray, and just enough food to keep from starving.
So they're just camped outside by a trail, blocking entry to a wrecked Stormbird, waiting for... what, exactly?
Don't rightly know, but I'll tell you this. Should they ever wise up and salvage it, a Stormbird heart is worth a lot. And if they get there first, then by Ostrom law, it's theirs. Not that Toland Cleanbrokers ever lost sleep over any law-breaking.
So about Ulvund.
Around here, everything's about Ulvund.
How'd he end up in charge?
He got here early, like a squirrel smelling a fat nut. He knew rebuilding Barren Light would need stone and timber. So he jangled purses all over Mainspring, getting investors to front claims on anything in the Daunt that might be worth a damn. Thing is, all the bankers back home know that this is Karja land, and the Sun King can revoke those claims at any time. That's why he's desperate for the magistrate to sign off on a concession decree.
I thought you'd be back in Freeheap.
Well, after the big battle at Meridian, I went back, but realized it was running smooth. Didn't need me. Heard about the rebuilding out at Barren Light. Figured they could use another hammer. Been scraping by ever since.
You could always leave.
And go back east? Nah. I ain't one to leave a lit forge. Besides, someone's gotta be a squeaky wheel for the workers around here.
Who is this Tolland Cleanbroker?
Just some chuff-huffing pondsman. Got a shop here in town. Lived in Chainscrape since there was a Chainscrape. He and Ulvund go back a ways. Like a pair of coals and a campfire, those two.
So Tolland works for Ulvund?
Ha! Ulvund might think so, but Tolland scrapes up his own scams. And he ain't the type to let a few refugees get between him and Stormbird salvage.
This concession decree, what is it exactly? And how would it help Ulvund?
It's pig diddle, that's what.
A writ that would put all Osram claims in the Daunt under Osram law, even though they're on Karja land. It would mean that any existing ore, stone, and timber claims couldn't be revoked by the Karja. No more risk, no more hesitation for investors back in the claim to pour in the shards and expand their business. And since Ulvund has a stake in all those claims, it would make him richer than a scrapper in a junk heap. Not to mention Chainscrape would become an Osram municipality, so he could buy enough votes to call himself an Elderman. He's a sly old badger, I'll give him that. Figures if he keeps up the pressure, eventually the magistrate will sign.
Well, if I'm up that way, I'll talk to the refugees. Try to convince them to move.
Much appreciated. They have it rough. Don't need Talon making it rougher.
Petra said Talon has a shop here in Chainscrape. I could have a word with him first. Could get around faster if I find a charger to override. I can override one of these chargers. I have to go in quiet so I don't spook the herd. Barren Light. Last part of the Sundom before the Forbidden West. A Karja horn. That means the Osu storm soon. Alright, I should find whoever's in charge here. First, I could resupply at my stash. That'd be worth taking a look around, too. There's Erend. That looks like he's had a few. Gentlemen?
That's our cue.
You taking the edge off?
Huh. Well, I mean, I'd ask you to join, but who'd be left to save the world, right? All right, now let me guess. You're in a rush, right? So, whatever you need. Ask away.
How have things been since
Your silent departure? Yeah, not bad. Vanguard's going strong. Helped Avad pick up the pieces after the battle with the Eclipse. I took a month to bury Ursa in the claim. But when I got back, I got the assignment to babysit Wadis on his way to the embassy. I thought that'd be a cakewalk, so of course things went sideways.
You got blindsided. Wasn't your fault.
A couple more of these, maybe I'll believe you.
I was, wondering if you were able to lay Ursa to rest, like you wanted.
Yeah, we did. Just seemed the crowd that showed up to pay their respects. Half of them owed her a favor, and the other half owed her their lives. In the end, everybody drank. You know, it's the rowdiest funeral since, since ever.
Feels like she would have liked that.
Yeah, damn straight. Damn straight. She would have put them all under the table.
What do you know about the embassy?
I know not much. Only that Avad really wants it to happen. He said I'm making peace with these Tenakth. But from what I hear, they're not too big on the whole diplomacy thing. They do most of their talking with blades and arrows. So if you're heading their way, be prepared. Things might get ugly real fast.
I'll keep that in mind. What do you know about this place?
Well, nothing good. It's where the Carja dragged all the captives they took from the Forbidden West during the Red Raids. Lucky ones became slave labor. The rest were hauled off to the Sun Ring and Meridian.
Your sacrifice.
You got it. Tenakth made sure to wreck the place before they chased the Carja out of the West. I can't say I blame them. And now Avad's paying the Osram to rebuild it. No matter how much new stone they put up, it'll still be stained in blood.
I better get going.
Oh yeah, don't let me stop you. Just, are you sure about this? Yeah, I'm saving the world. That sounds like a lot for just one
errand.
Yeah, all right. Can't blame me for trying. I guess what I'm really trying to say is, if you ever do need me...
I know where to find you. Hopefully sober next time.
Yeah, don't count on it. Be careful out there, Aloy.
Tenakth? I can take them.
With 5 ales in you?
With 5 ales in me, I'd just be evening the odds.
Of what? Falling on your ass?
Lighten up, Paif. You've got a thick wall.
Are you in charge around here?
Apologies, no. That would be Commander Nozar. I'm Lawan, his second in command. So, what brings Aloy of the Nora to Barren Light?
I'm here for the embassy. I need it to happen so I can head west. And maybe now that Studious Wadis is here, we can finally get things underway.
Yes, the Sun Priest. Walked in practically kicking and screaming behind his escort. Really seems to like his scrolls. But the embassy remains delayed. Commander Nozar has signaled our readiness, but the Tenakth marshals have yet to sound their horn.
All right, fine. Let me through the gates then. I have my own business with them.
I'm sure you do, but I'm afraid I can't. Commander's orders. Normally, the gates are open for any who dare to venture out. Oseram salvagers, a few especially brazen Carja, but no one's allowed in or out before an embassy. They'll reopen, once the Tenakth have left.
So what happens at these embassies, exactly?
Mostly trade and negotiation. The Carja offer tribute of food, spices, and gear. In exchange, the Tenakth return personal effects taken from Carja soldiers that fell during the Red Raids. This particular embassy, however, is a special case.
Special how?
The Tenakth are returning one of our own, a soldier by the name of Fashav. He's been their captive for 5 years. The exchange has got everyone on edge. You never know if an embassy's going to go well until it's practically over.
You said something about Tenakth Marshals. Who are they?
They're the tribe's elite warriors. Before every embassy, they arrive with a contingent of soldiers from each of their 3 clans. Then, during the proceedings, they negotiate on behalf of their leader. And by negotiate, I mean stare down our sun priest until they concede. Paiv over here came face to face with them for the first time at the last embassy. Came back drenched in his own sweat.
It was hot that day, sir.
It was indeed.
Where is this Commander Nozar, then? If he's the one keeping the gates shut, I'll convince him to open them for me.
I'll take you to him, but I have to warn you. The commander isn't one to break protocol, especially when he's already high-strung.
We'll see about that.
This way.
There's a lot of activity going on around here.
The Tenakth tore down this place during the Red Raids. 2 years of labor, and we still have a long way to go. The work stoppage and change scrape nearly halted our rebuilding efforts. But I hear a certain Nora got them back to work.
I was just helping out.
Yes, well, I'm sure Ulvin was thrilled. Stand aside, soldier.
Sir?
There's the commander. Better brace yourself. And good luck.
How are we to hold an embassy with a tribe that can't even govern their own people?
What more can you expect from barbarians?
Ahem.
Ah. Aloy, was it?
Yes. The one who cleared the valley for you? That Aloy.
We appreciate your service. At least we are ready for the embassy to begin.
Didn't you just give the signal?
Both sides must signal readiness. Until the Tenakth sound their horn, we wait.
Yea, for as the first shall be...
Shut up. Why the delay?
The Tenakth are a tribe composed of 3 clans. How many banners do you see?
You're just gonna wait? Go find out what's wrong.
Oh, this isn't some forgotten corner of the East where you come from, Nora. It's the Forbidden West. If you don't like it, run back to Meridian, file a complaint.
The Meridian I saved, you mean?
That's right. Nobody walks to the gate until the 3rd clan arrives and the Tenakth horn has sounded. Not even the savior of Meridian.
Lucky for you, the Savior of Meridian still has a few things she wants to take care of. Might be worth another look around the Daunt before the embassy.
Your impatience does not hasten the Tenakth, Nora.
Only our annoyance.
Fine. I'll give it some time. Some.
Carja armor, to protect and to play. Another day. Have a good shift.
Savior, tell me, are you seeking passage into no man's land by any chance?
Maybe. Why do you ask?
Well, to hammer it plain, there's treasure out west. Unclaimed scrap and ancient metal. And I've got a sturdy band of salvagers that knows the lay of the land.
You're not afraid of the Tenakth?
Terrified. But I carry out most of my business in no man's land. Neutral territory and all that. Barren Light is our port of entry, when its doors aren't closed for an embassy. I was hoping your arrival meant they might be opening soon. I've got a business to run, after all.
I want that embassy to happen as much as you do. Believe me, I'm working on it.
Good to know. And keep us in mind. If you do manage to open the way, our main camp will be just past Barren Light. We'll buy any scrap you've got on you. And if you're looking for machine parts, we've got the best in the West, guaranteed.
All right. Maybe later then.
If you could get those blasted gates open.
Guess I'm not the only one who wants to get those gates open.
Sir?
Nice to see you too.
I'll take you up on that. Go in lengths. As sure as the sun's rising.
Savior, you're my last hope.
Conover. She's Meridian's savior, not yours.
It's just Aloy. What do you want?
Please, no one will listen. But the Eclipse... they're here in the Daunt.
Really, Conover? Aloy's the one that defeated them. You're bothering her with this hogwash now?
Some of them must have fled west after the battle at the Elite. I saw one of our sentries, Lorevic, sneaking off to meet with one. I tried to eavesdrop, but they spotted me. And then Lorevic tried to kill me. I fought back. It was him or me.
Unfortunately, there's no hard evidence that connects Lorevic to the Eclipse. And since Conover doesn't deny killing his fellow soldier, Nozar sentenced him to death.
What makes you so sure Lorevic was working with the Eclipse?
Well, I was too far to hear everything. But I heard them both say the word Eclipse.
It's not the most outlandish claim I've heard, but it's up there.
Crying Eclipse is a convenient way to dodge a death sentence.
If I have to die, so be it. But if we ignore this threat, others are going to die too.
The meeting you witnessed. Did you hear anything else about their plans?
No. But the clearing where they met is just east of here, across the river.
A dozen soldiers have already searched it, Conover. There's nothing there.
I can see things others can't. If the Eclipse are in the Daunt, I'll find them.
Thank you, Aloy. Sun bless your search.
Don't get your hopes up, soldier.
Must be the clearing where Conover says he saw the Eclipse. Bloodstains. It's a good place to start as any. Hitting that at the right moment could help. Pretty sure this is where Conover killed that guard. Maybe my focus can tell me if there really was a third person here. Faint tracks, leading away from Barren Light. I should be able to follow them with my focus. Let's see where this leads. Maybe Conover wasn't lying after all. Lost the trail. There's too many machines walking around. Maybe I can pick up the tracks once I'm past them. That'll make things easier. A lot of it. Whoever the runner was, this machine must have slashed him. Should be easy to follow the bullet trail with my focus. Looks like they're headed for that bridge. Someone set up a lookout down here. Bandages. Looks like the runner tried to treat their wounds before they went on. I should be able to follow their tracks. Where did you go off to? Check what my focus sees me do. There. That should be enough wild meat for Mildev. The trail ends here. Must have climbed up to that cave. With that injury, I'll bet he's on his last legs. I'm getting a strong color out of this. This looks like a good place for someone to hide.
Hey! What are we supposed to do now? We stay on track and make our way out west. If we give up now, we have to find it. In which I say we kill the lion. We take on a whole garrison. Won't be easy.
We don't know Larovik's dead.
He hasn't shown at the rendezvous point, so either that fool guard killed him, or he lost his nerve.
We'll just have to blast our way through the gates.
And then what? Rayad was our only link to Vezra, and now he's dead too.
We'll track Vezra if we have to. But first we have to get past Barren Light. Next change of guard, we go in fast and loud.
Conover was right. I have to stop them before they hurt anyone else.
We may have lost Meridian for now,
They spotted me!
but it will be ours.
The Outlander's here! Finish her from range!
Let's make it personal!
Knock them out!
I need the two of you. I'm ready.
Look! Over there! Get over there!
Time for all then!
For the old regime! You won't get away with that! Get
There's more Eclipse beyond the Daunt. If this Rayad is their only link to them, he might have a focus. He could tell me where they are. I'm guessing that's Rayad. Blood trail must have been his. He bled out trying to get here. I was right. Rayad has a focus.
Eclipse. If you're seeing this, it means you've left the Sundom in search of something to follow. Your journey is almost over. Follow the sun beyond the gates of barren light, and bask in the gloam of future conquest. A new empire awaits.
I'll have to pay this Vezra a visit and crush his new Eclipse empire before it begins. There's coordinates here, out past Barren Light. Ryad's mask should be enough to prove Conover's innocence. I better take it back to Barren Light.
Sir?
There's Erend. Looks like he's had a few.
Look alive, soldier. She's back.
Aloy! Did you find anything?
Eclipse fugitives were camped out on the other side of the forest. And they were getting ready to fight their way through Barren Light. You just helped save a lot of lives.
Aloy, you know I believe you. But Nozar? He might not be convinced by your words alone.
If he needs proof, show him that. And tell him the man he's got locked up risked his life to expose and eliminate an Eclipse spy.
Huh. I guess you are his savior. Congratulations, soldier. You're a free man. I'll have you out of there before sunfall. I'll make sure this gets to Nozar.
That's it then. The end of the Eclipse.
Almost. The trespassers you mentioned, the ones who got through Barren Light weeks ago, their leader's dangerous. And he's out there, in the Forbidden West, building up an army.
Sun and Shadow, you're going out there to stop him, aren't you?
I'm gonna try.
I want to help. I can fight.
I know you can. But you've been through a lot. Once you're out of that cell, you should enjoy your freedom. You've earned it.
Take them out, Savior.
The answer is no, Nora. We will wait.
As is the will of the sun.
Well, thanks, but I've waited long enough. It's time to go.
Absolutely not. This embassy depends on diligent adherence to... You shall not!
Keep telling yourself that.
Someone approaching! On a machine!
Open the gates, please.
Do not let her through that gate! That is a direct order!
Sorry, can't do it.
Sir, it's the Savior! I don't care if it's the devil the queen herself! The gate is sealed, so that horn blows!
I'm asking nicely.
I don't know what to do.
Hey, Varl.
Hi, Aaron. What's happening?
You know, the usual. Aloy wants something. People try to stand in her way. It's not gonna work.
Gates.
Oh, that's it! Arrest her!
I'd like to see you try.
Supporting fire?
Yeah, I'm locked and loaded. Hey, nose off! You stupid bastard. You think you got the authority to keep that door shut in the Savior of Meridian's face? What do you think Sun King Avad is gonna do when he hears what you did? Promote you, huh? Let her through, boys. Saving the world.
Forget something back in Meridian?
Look, Varl.
It doesn't matter. Made it just in time.
So this tribe that Murad told us about, the Tanakh, we need their permission to go west?
Yeah, well, I figured it'd be nice if they weren't trying to kill me the whole time.
But this embassy hasn't started yet. We're just gonna barge in?
Just no more politics. No more delays.
Oh well. Now at least you have some backup.
I guess I do.
That is the line between East and West. Cross it and die.
Hold on now. Let's take it easy.
None may walk this valley until our signal sounds. That was our accord with the Karja.
I'm not Karja. I came here on my own to ask for rite of passage.
But they opened the gate for you, did they not? What is the meaning of this violation?
Why send a child? Do they want to parley or not?
The Karja can't be trusted. This is known.
Forget the Karja. This has nothing to do with them. I need to go west to save lives. Maybe even yours.
The only lives you can save are your own. By turning back. Now.
Hold! She's telling the truth about one thing. She's not Karja. She's a Nora from the Savage East. And if she seeks to save lives, should we not listen? Let me speak to her. One last favor for a fellow marshal before he's taken away. A fearless, red-headed Nora. You must be the so-called Savior of Meridian.
Just Aloy.
I am unyielding Fashav. Once of the Karja High Command, last of the Army of the Setting Sun. You'll have to forgive my comrades. Tensions are high. This embassy is a delicate affair. They're about to return me to the Sundom, a gesture that might help soothe painful grievances. And now you arrive, unheralded.
I'm not here to cause trouble. I just need to go west.
So you say. I might be able to help, but I need to know why. along with some assurance that I won't regret it.
I've never seen markings like those on a Karja before.
The Karja see ink as decoration. For the Tenakth, it is much more. A litany of deeds. A record of vanquished enemies.
Looks like you've vanquished quite a few.
I've fought my share of battles. But I feel that my life, like my markings, is only half complete. This side shows my martial deeds. Before I die, I'd like to see the other half marked with the laurels of peace.
How did you come to be among the Tenakth?
It's quite a story, but not a quick one. Though I suppose neither of us is going anywhere before the embassy begins. Are you sure you want to hear it?
I guess we have time.
Very well. I marched with Sun King Jiran's raiders when they came west, hoping to moderate their worst impulses. I failed, of course. They committed unspeakable atrocities, stirring the Tenakth into action. When the clans overran our forward encampment at Cinnabar Sands, I stayed behind to help the last stragglers evacuate, and was taken prisoner. I didn't make it easy for my captors, mind you. And they paid me back in kind on the journey to their capital. I lost so much blood on the way that I was white as a corpse when they threw me before Chief Hekarro. I thought I was dead for sure, so I resorted to desperate measures.
So when you met the Tenakth chief, you did something desperate?
I'd kept my ears open as the Tenakth dragged me along, and I heard mutterings about a kind of trial by combat that they revere. So, when they flung me at Hekarro's feet, I demanded this right, called the Kulrut, thinking that by winning I could request a boon, my life or even my freedom. The other Tenakth howled, but Hekarro stared them down, and then his gaze fell upon me. Evidently, he appreciated my ingenuity. He allowed me to participate in the Kulrut. Little did I know what I was in for.
You said the Kulrut is a Tenakth trial by combat.
Yes, but it is no ordinary trial. It doesn't pit men against each other, at least not directly. Instead, the combatants fight machines in a great arena, and only the strongest survive. Believe me, it is no easy thing to stare down a charging machine while hundreds around you scream for blood.
I know more about that than you might think.
Do you? Well, then you have my respect. Like you, I lived through it to claim my prize. I had hoped for freedom, but well, that wasn't on offer. Only service to the chief.
You wound up serving the Tenakth chief.
The winners of the Kulrut must serve the chief as his marshals.
You mentioned that word before. What does it mean?
The word itself refers to a kind of protective spirit from the ancient past. In practice, marshals are Hekarro's roving lawgivers, part magistrate, part judge, part executioner. I won my place among their ranks and served as honor demanded, but many Tenakth still spat on the ground when I walked by. But they did, until I started forcing them to the ground to grind their faces in it.
I guess that's one way to deal with it.
As you may have noticed, violence is the native tongue of the Tenakth. To survive, one must master it. The truth is, though, the Karja speak it too. More than they should. I can't blame the Tenakth for hating them.
So then, are you still Karja?
Part of me, yes. Always. Yet there is much to admire about the Tenakth. Especially their chief. I've heard stories about what it was like before his reign. Three clans always at war, constantly slitting each other's throats. Hekarro and the Marshals have crafted a delicate peace. And now he looks to the future. Who knows? Maybe that future will include cooperation with the Carja.
The Carja talk about Hekarro as if he's a monster.
The Carja feel compelled to demonize him if only because he swept them from the field. It is true that he is fearsome. When I was first taken before him, I thought he would flay me alive. But he is no bloodthirsty tyrant like the Mad Sun King was. I think that if you were fortunate enough to meet him, as I was, you would find that he only wants the best for his people. I hope you do speak to him. I'm sure you'd interest him. So, that's my story. You're the first Easterner to hear it, but not the last. The Carja need to know what I have learned.
Yeah. The way you talk about the Tenakth is a lot different than how they do. Are you glad to be going back to Meridian?
Oh, I'll admit that I wouldn't mind sleeping in a feather bed or sipping wine from the southern vineyards. But I have another goal in mind. As someone who knows the Tenakth and the Carja, I'm in a unique position to advocate for both. If Sun King Avad is amenable, my hope is to establish a lasting peace.
The Tenakth don't seem that peaceful.
They're not, as a rule. But these are difficult times. Chief Hekarro knows that survival often requires change, even if that change means putting aside centuries of war.
You asked why I need rite of passage. I'll tell you, but you won't like my answer. 6 months ago, the world almost ended in Meridian. That threat still exists. It's getting worse every day, much worse. Calling down storms, poisoning the water, enraging the machines. The source of it all has gone west, and I'm the only one who can stop it.
I've seen the signs. And I've heard tales of incredible occurrences in Meridian, an army of demons vanquished by a red-haired champion. So I'm inclined to believe you. The burden of your task is written across your face clearer than any mark of mine. I'll grant you this, to serve as proof of your right to travel into Tenakth lands. A task so important, and it's just the two of you. Take it from one who aspires to be a diplomat. Allies are essential. Chief Hekarro knows the West better than anyone. He may be able to help you. He can be intimidating to others, but don't let that deceive you. He is a man of his word.
Maybe. If I need him.
Your choice. You can find him at his palace, past the mountains to the southwest. Tell him I sent you, and he'll listen to
Look! The Sky Clan's banner!
Marshals. It wasn't easy, but I brought the Sky Clan with me.
And the commander?
No. I could only convince a few. He isn't yet aware we left.
We have banners from all three clans. If there are fewer from the Sky Clan, it can't be helped.
He's right. Sound the horn.
What's going on?
Not all Tenakth can stomach the idea of parley with the Carja, but enough have come for us to begin.
Then I'll be on my way.
No. The other marshals will not permit it. You wanted safe passage, you have it. after the embassy.
The Carja have opened the gates.
As the sun rises over a land at war, so too can it set over a land at peace. Today is such...
Hear me, marshals! You who claim to be Tenakth!
Regalla. Chief Hekarro's biggest mistake. A rival whom he should have killed.
You have forgotten that our people were born in blood. The blood of the Carja. Instead, you pledge your spears to a chief who conspires with the enemy. Hekarro has betrayed us! The embassy is proof! And all of you marshals are his accomplices! For this, I condemn you to death!
You'll need more than toothless threats to intimidate us. Exile.
Lancers! Form up!
They're riding machines! Where'd they learn to do that?
Silence.
Vashav! Come with us now, or not at all!
Archers! Light them up!
Get to cover!
Ah! Archers! Keep them back! Left flank! To the Carja! Run them down!
They're not gonna make it.
Open the gates! Open the gates! Open the gates!
Carja! Stand your ground!
Fire at will!
I don't have a shot!
What happened? Can you see?
It's just us now.
Hey! Calm down and fight fair! Lancers! Take the center!
Stick to... Archers on the ridge! Here they come!
This is it!
We got this! We'll have to get through.
Acid's eating away at it. Now to follow up.
All better from range! We have to reacquire that!
I thought you were his prey.
Check if they're okay!
Cut them all down! No! Marshal!
Just you and me now, Bo.
We've survived worse. Here's ammo. Can you use a shock attack? That did some real damage. Let's take down this machine.
Enough! You, Outlanders! I'll skin you both!
Chief, grant me the honor of this challenge.
Granted.
You're next, girl.
I've never seen a shield like that. Better scan it. I can shield if I damage it enough. Gotta get through that shield.
You've broken the shield, not the warrior! This way over.
Give it up! Shield's gone. He's vulnerable.
Your turn! Come down here and face me! No! It was an honorable challenge. You've earned your life today. Comrades! Mark this day! Today you have decimated the Marshals! Slaughtered the Karja! So begins our war on Hikaru. Move out!
Get him to the camp. Now.
You gonna make it?
You're going on without me, aren't you? Guess I'm stuck with Erend. For now.
Come on. I'll take you back to the fort.
I got you.
It's salvage time, boys.
I don't think it can take a hit. I should be able to use it to glide.
Aloy. We're still trying to sort out this mess. Seems like the Tenakth have a civil war in their hands.
That sounds about right. The Marshals weren't expecting Regalla to attack.
And the entire Karja delegation was slain. Nozar, Vuadis, Fashab, a massacre. What will you do now?
I have to head west. Hopefully this rite of passage is still good. For what I'm after, I'll cross all of Tenakth territory if I have to.
Then you have a long road ahead of you. This is only the threshold of the Forbidden West. The Tenakth's true domain lies over the mountains that border Plainsong, home of the Utaru tribe.
This isn't Tenakth territory?
All that out there? That's no man's land. It was supposed to be neutral ground, though obviously this Regalla ignored that. Her rebels approached from the north, with all those machines they were riding. They must have made camp up that way.
The rebels were riding bristlebacks. And there were bristlebacks in the Daunt.
Are you saying the rebels let them into the Daunt? How would that even be possible?
I don't know. But it's worth looking into.
While you're at it, there were a number of Carja and Oseram who went out there before the gates were shut for the embassy. Maybe you could check in on them. See if they're all right.
I can keep an eye out. Is there a tall neck somewhere nearby?
A tall neck? There's that one, over there, near the Utaru border. But why...
It's hard to explain. It'll help me get the lay of the land.
If you say so. Is there anything else I can tell you before you go?
I need to be on my way.
Then I wish you luck. The gates will always be open to you should you wish to return. And don't worry about your friends. We'll get them patched up.
I appreciate it.
Sun watch over you, Aloy. I hope you find what you're looking for.
So, this is the Forbidden West. A whole new frontier to explore. The coordinates from the spire should lead to Silence and Hades. And just maybe, a backup of Gaia. It won't be easy out there. The Blight, the Storms, Regalla's machine riders. But I'll have to push through it all. Find a way to fix the world. Like Elizabeth would. Taking over land out here, too. Those must be the salvagers I met in Barren Light.
Make all other armors look
Looks
like
like something's
rusted
going
buckets
on.
of scrap. You really think you can do that?
Karuk, come on! You know me. Have I ever given you anything less than perfection?
If it isn't the savior of Meridian, and of my very own operation. Larend, say hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
You know, if it weren't for this one, I probably wouldn't be standing here right now. Oh, nasty business. What the Tenakth did back at the embassy. But everyone in Barren Light is thankful you drove them off.
So this is your salvage operation?
You won't find a better place to trade machine parts in the West. And soon we'll be trading in more than just that. For too long, the West has been, well, forbidden. Dangerous. But what if I told you we could make an armor so tough, so infallible, that you'd never have to worry about survival out here again?
I'd be curious to take a look at it.
Of course you would. And that's why I've asked my most talented salvagers to find what they need to make that armor. Each of them will present their work to me. The best protection will go on sale to hunters, just like you.
Lucky me.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some business to attend to back in Chainscrape. Larend can take care of you while I'm gone. Can't wait to see what you come up with, my boy.
Leave it to me. It'll blow all the others out of the forge.
You have got to help me.
What are you talking about?
The armor. I made a dozen versions of it, but none of them were good enough. And there are other crews further west. If they make better armor than mine, I can kiss that keg full of shards goodbye.
So you get a prize if Karif picks your armor?
A big one. And I finally have the perfect design. I just need the right parts, and fast. So maybe you'd be willing to pick up a contract and get them for me?
What would I be looking for?
Shell walker containers. Their plating's made to withstand a lot of damage. It'll make the perfect armor. I know it.
I think I can handle that.
Ah, thank the forge. All right. We scouted out a herd near here. Here's the contract. It'll tell you everything you need to know. You take the machines down. My people will pick up the containers.
I'll give this a closer look later. Thanks.
Counting on you, Aloy.
I might want to read that contract before going on the hunt.